Hey guys, Moneyman300 back for some more Forza 5 here, and we're moving on with our series here of going through each track and giving you guys a car or two that you can use and be highly competitive. So this one we are on Bathurst here in Australia, and it's going to be the Lotus Elan. And so this is my this is off my rivals. I actually was going to do this video a while ago, and it was one of the casualties of my PC crash. So this is I'll just go back and show the replay of my rivals time. It's just outside the top 200. It's slipped some spots in the last couple of months, but still a pretty good run. And you know what's really good about this is I suck at driving this track, so I know this car is pretty competitive, and somebody that's a better driver than me could probably run this thing up there even higher. This is a difficult track, I think, to lap for me. It's highly technical, and there are just so many places to really make a mistake out there. So let's do this here. Let's get ourselves back to the is there a good way to take it all the way back to the beginning? Or do I gotta like skip back? Here we go. Restart. There we go. So let's restart this back to the beginning, and I didn't want to go forward. Gah. Okay, let's restart this again and show you what we got here. I meant to pause it. Let's get my camera type, go to my game camera, back it up. This is my normal driving view. If you drive a different view, go watch this replay from any vantage point that you want. So we'll go through, talk through this a little bit. So you're going to come down, if I remember right, you come down second gear for this one. Wasn't even a particularly good turn. I suck at that first turn. That's part of why I always seem to lose a second. There's just so many. You can lose a second on every turn here, and be 4 or 5 seconds behind and still run a really good time on this track. The spread between first and 200th is huge on this, and it's because of that. So this car's pretty good, pretty fast. I'm going to show you another car on this, the 250 Cali Ferrari, that's actually faster but a little bit more difficult to handle. Again, I got two cars on this. This is also going to work well on Indy GP is going to be an area where both of these cars I'm going to show you on this track will work. I'd probably end up showing you potentially those same cars on those tracks. So just to cut it out, that we'll see. We'll see when I get there. I figure out what I'm going to do. But anyway, I think I shift third to fourth here. Do I just leave it in third? Leave it in third there. When I was driving it, sometimes you could shift up to fourth there, and I will, I guess, when I get out of there. But it probably was just easier. I was probably just doing everything I could to lay down a clean lap. You can certainly see as you watch this where some opportunities are to better there. That's a little late turn in there. See what this looks like here. Yeah, it's okay. Not terrible though. Able to come out of there at pretty good speed. If you watch, guys, if you go watch a Top Times drive that part of the track, it's pretty crazy. And you can really see where you can make a second or even 2 seconds just on that. So we'll come out of here. We're going to wrap it out at the top of fifth gear, fifth gear. I don't remember what the top of this thing is. And around that 140 mile an hour mark as you come in around here. This is where there may be a couple cars that are going to hit closer to 150, and if you're running this in multiplayer, that could give you some problems in that long straightaway. If you're not able to get enough of a lead and get out in front of guys. That was a really careful turn. I obviously did not want to take any chances. Probably had ran a few laps dirty at that point and just wanted to lay down something clean here. So pretty conservative there too. Anyway, so that's the lap we got. Let's let this thing finish up here, and then we will go take a look at what we got on the tune. Get this going. I thought I hit exit there. Maybe not. Maybe I did. Find out. Fun car to drive, though. I think you really like it. It sounds cool. I really like that car. Going back to, it's been in other Forza games, but it's just a really fun car to drive, and it can work on other speed type tracks. And it's probably not the only time we're going to see that car in this series. So it's just a lot of fun to drive. I really like. Just one of my favorites for this class. Let's go over here and let's take a look at our. Oh, am I in the right car? I gotta switch cars. I think I'm still in this one. Let's go to my cars here. Let's get a filter on the D class, and Wrong way. Head over to the Lotus. There it is, the Lotus Elan Sprint. Let's hop in this beast. And now we can look at our upgrades. Alright, so same thing as always. We'll start over here in our conversion. And I probably have... Oh, this one... So this one does not run... That runs a regular turbo, which I don't have on there, you can see. I actually have the... or do I? Oh, I do have that equipped. That's what that little wrench means, by the way. It's equipped. So I do have the only turbo option on there. I don't believe we have... Yeah, nothing there, and I don't believe we have any type of conversion to all-wheel drive. So the only thing we have in there is adding that turbo on there. It doesn't have the good turbo, but it's still better than not having it. So we're going to have the front and the rear wings, I believe. Yep, got both of those on there. And we'll move down into our tires and take a look here. Probably not going to have much for tires. You can see I tried a couple different options, but ended up really needing the speed on this track. So we went with nothing there, nothing on the front, upgrade for the width, and nothing on the rear. So no width upgrade. You can again see where I tried some different combinations, but ultimately did not end up with that. I have what I call the heavy wheels on here. So these are the heaviest. If you didn't know that, these two right here, pretty heaviest wheels in the game. So if you're looking to go heavier in the wheels just so you can have the PI elsewhere, that's what you get on that one. And then let's take a look. We do have full width front and full width rear. I didn't have, when I came in here and looked at this, I actually didn't have these the same. I had one of these like down here or something weird, but I don't know why. I just matched them up just because it didn't look right. Let's see here. I'm sure I don't have a clutch. I don't think I have transmission. Yeah, this one only worked with, this one worked best. I shouldn't say only worked, but actually you can see the gear, we're wrapping up pretty right at the top of 5th gear on that hill, so there really wasn't any reason for me to switch transmission on this one and spend any additional PI, and we also have no extra driveline. And if we look at it, look how much PI you have to spend on that thing. I mean, it's significant, 11 PI just to get to where you could adjust those gears, so it really isn't worth it. You just lose way too much horsepower doing that. And then we'll look at our race differential, as always. So let's hop over into the platform and handling. And for brakes, we do have the full race brakes on there to get those adjustable brakes. And we're going to have race springs. We're going to have race front roll bars. And we're going to have race rear roll bars. And I can't remember what I did here. Yep, nothing. So no roll cage adjustment. The only times I'll put roll cage on here is sometimes when you put this up, the weight outweighs the benefit and you'll actually get a couple PI back. In this case, you're looking at 8 PI to put that thing on there. I mean, it's significant and it adds the weight, so I really did not see the benefit of doing that. And I do have the full weight reduction though to make this thing nice and light out there. You could do this and get horsepower, and you could add the weight back in 213 and get you some horsepower in there. I believe I tried it and I just didn't feel like I was getting the same bang for my buck, and liked where I was at on this. So but that is one option you could do. Take the weight out. I don't know how much you're going to get for that extra 13 PI. I must have felt it wasn't worth it when I went through that exercise though. And let's take a look in here because I honestly don't remember what I did. So I do have some upgrades in here. So we'll have the street intake and no stock carburetor, stock ignition. Generally, that's the exhaust is what I'll do before that intake. So we do have the exhaust unless you absolutely just can't get it. So I do have the race exhaust. Let's take a look here. Oh, got some. That's interesting. I don't run those cams very often, but I do have the cams in here. I think that again has to do with the long straightaway and lengthening out. You can see the length difference here, how much farther out, and you can actually run much higher RPMs on there. So so that's probably why I did that. Looks like I tried a couple different options, ended up on stock valves here and stock displacement. Anything here? Nope. And did we upgrade? Didn't even upgrade the turbo. So whoa, that's why it's a lot to be able to do that. So again, if you look in there and you go 13 PI, it says 20 PI out there to do that. I'm trying to think of where you could add some more. You could add some more intake here, see how much you could get. You know, you could probably get another 10-12 horsepower, but I don't know that it outweighs the weight gain that you get. So we already have the cams in there. Let me look at, so the one other place I might go is displacement here, but we see one goes up 18. So just a lot of it had to do with the combinations and the options. So anyway, that is all of our... Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't show you guys the... just the overall stuff here. 5.1 speed, 4.4 handling, 7.7 acceleration, 7.9 launch, 4.6 braking, and then 204 horsepower, 164 foot-pounds of torque, 1,400 pounds, really light, 48% of that to the front, 1.6 liters of displacement, and here's our other somewhat relevant numbers. So let's hop over here into the tune, take a look. 28, 27 and a half, you know, it's pretty standard for what I do, and unless there's some issue, I just don't change it. 3.5 and 3.0, we did go with the high camber numbers here, did not do any toe or caster angles. 21 and 1, so this was one of those interesting builds that you'll do from time to time. That'll be a max build or a min build, whatever you want to call that, but that was really to control the transitional oversteer in there, and it worked at this one. It doesn't always work, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but this really helps in that top, keeps the car from getting upset when you're in the middle of a turn. So that's really what your roll bars are for. I took all the rear out, softened it all the way up, and I wanted every bit of that transitional oversteer out for like the first turn and the you know, remember the first turn, the second turn, just to really get that stuff out of there. So that worked really well for me. We're going to be springs again, slightly understeer tuned with that softer rear end there with 344 and 245, but the ride height all the way down, and that seemed to work just fine on this car. Did not get upset at all when it hit the strips. 10.7 and 9.1. This again is a bit understeer tuned. Everything I could do to kind of control the oversteer of this car. This car really naturally has that. Being rear-wheel drive, being a little bit faster, and having those stock tires, there's some things that you have to do to control that. We did take all of our aero out once again. 53% 135, so back to a little bit more normal brake. If you watched the last video, you know that I went kind of the other direction with that, but I did not have any issues with the braking there. And pretty low, just again to control the rear end. 25% acceleration and 8% deceleration. So, all right, so that should give you a nice car for Bathurst here. I do have a second car, Ferrari 250 Cali, that I'm going to be getting up here too. So we'll give you a couple of cars that you can play around with on this. So that's going to do it for this one. Oh, as always, if you want to download the tunes, I do save all of these. So, you know, if you don't want to mess around to get the settings, you just want to download them yourself, you can go ahead and do that. One trick that'll give you, if you don't want to have to go through and buy all the parts, you can download my tune and then remove it, and you'll have all the parts purchased and you'll know which ones to put on there. So just a little pro tip there. Anyway, I'm going to end it with that one. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.